In this episode, we're going to be making a blacksmith knife out of 5/8 coil spring, and the first thing we need to do is make it straight. Now there are many ways to do this. This is just the most convenient due to the spring already being processed. The next step on our journey is to isolate the blade from the tang. This allows us to get a better idea of what kind of knife we're going to be making. Remember, I want to make a knife, just not sure about the profile. I usually decide what type of knife while I'm isolating the blade. Once the blade is isolated, we can square up our tang, building on the fundamentals we learned in episode 1. Hot cutting can be done a variety of ways. Using the edge of your anvil to shorten your piece is just one way to do it. Hot filing is only necessary in a few circumstances: cleaning up a ragged end after a cut, or shaping a piece because you do not have access to a grinder. Please don't use a new file to do your hot filing. Old files may be past their expiration date for normal filing, but have plenty of bite left when the steel is hot. For this style of blacksmith knife, we're going to now flatten the tang. For another style of blacksmith knife, you would continue to square up the tang, drawing it out to a point, and then twisting the tang to form a beautiful handle. We are now going to be upsetting the finger choil. This is when the tang really starts to take shape. Remember to smooth out your upset before putting it back in the forge. To this point in the process, the journey is the same as any other knife. You can still make this a full tang with scales and pins, or take it down to a hidden tang, or even a through tang. But we are on a quest to make a blacksmith knife, so that is what we're going to do. We're going to draw the tang out to a point, gradually tapering it till we have the desired look we want. Keep in mind, aesthetics drive the functionality of this knife. If the handle is uncomfortable to hold, then it will not be fun to wield, nor will it be balanced in the hand. Profiling with your hammer is a great way to fine-tune your hammering skills. It requires patience, coordination, and determination. Once again, it will also help you financially. Grinding belts are expensive, and the amount of fuel you will use taking the extra little bit to profile your piece with the hammer wouldn't even be able to buy the cheapest belts available. I advise all my students to work on their hammering technique and strive to profile their pieces with the hammer. It will make you a better smith in the long run and save you some coins along the way. Forging in your edge geometry is a very useful part of bladesmithing. Not only does it save your belts, but it also saves you time, especially if you're hand filing. The farther you can go to finish with a hammer, the faster you will be able to get onto other projects and continue growing your blacksmith and bladesmith knowledge. This stage is not always a crucial part of the bladesmith's journey. In this instance, it is, because we want to use all the steel we have left in order to finish our blade. Hand filing can be your absolute dream or your worst enemy. I rather enjoy the repetitive nature of the whole process. Plus, it also allows the smith to have more control over what gets removed and what stays. It is also the least expensive way to finish a knife, even if it is the most time-consuming part of the entire project. Hand filing has been around for as long as our ancestors have been making metal knives and swords. Grinders and mills just speed up the process. They don't necessarily make a better knife. Your edge geometry is what will decide whether your knife is a great tool or a great-looking paperweight. If your geometry is off, your blade will not do what it is designed to do. Your edge geometry starts at the uppermost portion of your blade that is angled toward your edge. In this case, we are starting at the spine of the blade. It determines how your blade will interact with whatever material it contacts. Scrolling the pommel section of your knife is what makes this a finished blade, versus one that didn't have scales attached to it. Decorative scrolling allows you to put your work on full display. Even if most people see them as unfinished, this allows you to educate them on what they are holding. They are definitely conversation pieces and will forever spark interest from buyers for years to come. A perfect example of the blacksmith knife meets master smith is Lynn Ray's X-Ray blacksmith knife. A combination of masterful craftsmanship, functionality, and aesthetics come together to form this masterpiece of blacksmithing. We have come to probably the most important part of any project, making sure your work can be recognized. We need to stamp it or etch it, and then you need to make sure that it's hard, but not too hard. Everything can be for naught if you do not have the quench and heat treatment dialed in 300%. Knowing how to quench will determine whether you are starting over or finishing it, and knowing how to properly heat treat will decide whether you're making money or giving out refunds. Remember, my friends, there are a lot of people on this big blue marble, and if by sharing your passion with just one of them makes their day better, 2 people are better for it. Stay safe out there, be well, and as always, Forge on.